Hey, thank you for listening. I recorded this back on May 27th. I called up Tone Tank and we chatted. I sat on the episode for a while because I just wanted to focus on listening to different movements going on. Included in the show description will be a link to Tone's contact information where you can hit him up if you need help. He offers his help for elderly and disabled people who need, errands and stuff, runs to the store, things like that, groceries. He was nice enough to offer that, so his contact info will be in the episode description, alongside links to his IMDB, his artwork, and his music, all of which are legendary. We also talk about his appearance on Inside Edition for his court case, where he fought and won a couple dickheads on the LIRR. I'll include the YouTube clip of the whole show in the episode description. It's incredible. Definitely check that out. Please show your support of the protests, which are still happening, and please help spread information on how necessary and totally possible defunding and abolishing police forces are. Please state loudly when and where you can. Trans lives matter. Black lives matter. Donation links will be included in the episode for different causes, Black Lives Matter causes, bail funding, support for the way too many families affected by police violence. All these links will be in the episode description. Thank you again for listening. Here's an episode with Tone Tank. I'm going to start recording now.
Yeah.
What's going on? How you doing, man? I got Tone Tank here.
Yo, Joe Dove. What's up, kid? How you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. We've known each other for a while now.
Yeah, man, we have. We've worked together a lot. We've worked together more than even we've made songs together.
That's true. That's true.
Considering like the amount that we worked together.
Yeah, but I got to help put together a whole project and some other stuff, and we've also just hung out too through Luke and through some other mutual friends.
I mean, even when we're working together, we're still hanging out.
That's true.
You know,
working with you is very casual. It's one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah, me too, man. That's why I don't want to go nowhere else to record never.
While I got you here, though, man, and I know we don't have a lot of time. You only got 30% on the phone. We might, if it runs out, that'll be funny. That would be a good way to end.
Yeah, but like somewhere, like I was looking in China or something. They base your credit rate on like one of the factors that goes into how to base your credit rate is on like how much of a charge you usually keep on your phone. Did you know that?
I didn't. I need a source on that.
Yo, look that shit up, son.
That's very hard to enforce.
Nah, bro, it's not to enforce. Like, it's data. They take this data, and then next thing you know, you're getting charged this amount. Right off the bat with the 5G shit.
But I feel like there's such an easier. There's a way easier.
Right off the bat, they're gonna turn off right away. Like, oh, he got some fucking wacko on the show.
Everyone I know is a wacko, man.
Yeah, really boring. Not to be. I'm on the balcony right now, yo.
Yeah,
I'm on the balcony. Yeah, man.
You're at home. What are you cooking for dinner tonight? I know you cook a lot.
We're just gonna cook some burgers on the grill, man, on the barbecue.
All right, so you're keeping it simple tonight.
Yeah, just gonna barbecue. I'm working on I'm looking at classes. I'm looking at I'm making lots of different things and stuff. So cooking's not a top priority right now. Like, I'm not trying to. I wish I could. No, that's not true.
Yeah, I don't know. The last few times I texted you
to like dive in on my cooking, but I think this is time better spent for me is to to use this to make art.
Last few times we texted, you were making some dope. You were making some dope shit.
What was I making?
I don't know, man. You sent me some pics. I can't remember exactly, but you were making some good shit. It was a while.
Was it Italian food or was there something else?
It was Italian food.
Yeah. I wonder what it was.
Listen,
yeah, that's why I couldn't do the podcast last time was because I was cooking.
You were chefing it up.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you a couple things, man, because before I did this, I was like, you know what I gotta go look at? I gotta go look at Tone's IMDb page. And I went and looked at your page, and you're an actor now, and you've been in a few things. The first thing there is 2013 Newlyweds by Shaka. That's been out for a while. I saw that. That was dope. Then I'm looking, and you're in a bunch of things, man. So there was something in 2017 called Emotional Baggage that seemed like a short film, but Lost Holiday came out last year. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I'm watching that tonight.
First of all, it's a dope movie. It was really like, I wasn't sure how it was going to come out because, you know, it was a holiday movie. So, like, you know, you can only drop it really once a year. You would know, we did the holiday banger. You could only really put that out, like, around the holidays. So I wasn't sure when it was going to come out, if it was going to come out. And it kind of came out of nowhere and was like, I was like, you know, I didn't know how it was going to all come together. It was like super low budget and everything. And it had amazing people. The crew, the cast and everybody was amazing. And when I saw it, I was really pleasantly, I was very happy with the way it came out or whatever.
Now, is that something? Now, you
that's not really telling you about the movie, is it?
That's okay. I'm going to ask you about the movie, but I want to know more about the fact that you seem to be getting into more acting, because there's also 2 projects on this IMDb page that are about to come out that look fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, man, I am, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really a lot of fun because, when you're a kid, like, you know, the potential, the type of person you're going to be, right, is open. You don't know. You might end up being a cop. You might end up being a bank robber, a stockbroker, a scientist. You know, at a certain point in life, maybe you start to, your life has limitations. You can't go 5,000 directions. You know what I mean? You go like the direction, most of it, people go a direction of, like, you know, a sane human being. Well, you know what I mean? A semi-sane human being, if you're lucky.
Security,
you know, you have a
security
job
in a certain way. Yeah, security.
Yeah, you have a semi-stable life if you're lucky enough to, you know what I mean? Like, my shit wasn't always stable, and it was all my fault because I did a lot of crazy shit. But now my life is stable, and, you know, that's beautiful. But you get to be one person, you know what I mean? Or a couple of different things. You don't get to live 100 different lives, and every day can't be a fucking adventure. Even though, like, you know, maybe some inspirational memes will try to have you believe, so you cannot live every day like it's your last day. You have no money saved. Fucking, you know what I mean? You can't. You be robbing banks and shit.
Right.
You'd be in prison quick or dead or something, and it really would be your last day if you live every day like it's your last day.
But so you kind of, I've known you for a while. You have lived a crazy life and a lot of different types of things. You're a Renaissance man in a way. You've lived a lot of different lives, and I haven't known you since you were a kid. But, you know, we've known each other long enough that you've told me stories about when you were younger and things like that. And you've always been an artist, a very creative person. You've worked in almost all the mediums now, right? You've made music, and you've made paintings, drawings, sculptures in that medium as well, and then you got into acting, and now you're in these movies, and that's fucking sick. One thing. What I want to say about the acting, which is dope, which I was getting around to, is that you do get to be these extreme characters and these extreme personalities, and like we all have that stuff in us, you know. But you know, common sense and pros and cons keep you from living certain lives. But with the acting, you get to fully dive in to, like, the psychology and the lives of these people, you know? You get to be somebody else for a little bit and not just like a regular person. That's a good segue. So in this movie Lost Holiday, you played what's listed on the IMDb page as Russian, a character named Russian.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
He's like a... First, this sort of story takes place in Maryland, and like right outside of D.C., the D.C. area. And these rich kids come home for their holiday, you know?
Okay.
They go home from whatever city they were. They were probably like, you know, transplants to New York or something, gentrifiers in New York. And then they come back to the suburbs where they were from. And I'm not one of those kids. I'm like the drug dealer that lives in a basement and has a baby that I'm estranged from, and, you know, lives a sketchy life and all of that. Lots of drugs around, and, you know, shady shit. And it was kind of not that hard to find, like, the research on that character. Like, I grew up in Long Island, and, like, those guys were, you know, there was a countless amount of those guys. There was an unlimited amount of those guys. Drug dealers living in basement apartments and shit.
All around shady individuals. Some good people, but also shady.
Some are cool. This is not a good place to be. You know, it's not a good place to be. I've been in places like that when the fucking cops run up in there. I'm just hanging out with this person, but it's never a good idea to be there. But like when you're living in there, that's just normal, you know. So it was fun. I got to be that guy. You know, when I was a kid, I was just around that guy. You know, like I might stop by the cop or something, or because one of my friends knew this guy, and like, you know, these badass dudes and shit. And, you know, growing up to actually be that, there's going to be major consequences and risks and everything. But to really know what that guy's about and know that guy, and then get to kind of like bring that guy to life with reality, and with a realistic approach, man, is just, you know, what a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer, and it looks phenomenal, and you looked like you're doing a great job in there. I can't wait to watch it, and that's going to be fun to watch, man. And then you got these two other projects. I don't know if you could talk about them. I mean, it's public. They're on the page, but...
Yeah.
You got...
They're being talked. People are talking, like, they're talking about them. We could talk about them.
Because Shaka's incredible creator, Shaka King, who did Newlyweds and some movies since Newlyweds, right? There was another one. I can't remember the name of it right now. I don't think you were in it.
He had Shorts.
Shorts. And now it doesn't have a release year, but it's the Untitled Fred Hampton project.
Yes.
That's crazy, bro.
And I mean, it couldn't come, unfortunately, you know, it couldn't come at a better time, right?
I mean,
unfortunately, shit's still going on to where, like, a movie like that in this country, it's always needed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
What I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, shit is always so fucked up that we always need a movie like that. And it's always like, oh, this is the time we need it. Because it's always the fucking time we need it.
That's true.
Shit's always happening. And this shit down in Georgia, the shit with the fucking NYPD beating up kids on their stoop. And you hear him ask the kid his birthday, but his birthday's 2005 or 2006. That means he's like 15, 14, 16 years old. You know what I mean? And these bullies, these fat white bullies, going into these neighborhoods, they don't even have any respect or understanding for, and beating up these fucking kids. When they on the other side of town handing out masks to fucking yuppies in the park. You know what I mean?
Bro, I can't.
You know,
I have no respect for the police. I don't. Yeah, I don't. Zero.
Yeah, and everybody got a cousin or something, a friend that's a cop or whatever, that doesn't let the whole fucking thing off the hook, though. You know what I mean? Just because we know somebody that's like that doesn't mean it's all good. Anyway, I play a cop, and I play a good, not a good cop. I play a bad cop.
Oh, but there is no good cop, so.
Cop. I'm a good, bad cop.
Jesus Christ. Officer Carcetti.
Carcetti, yeah.
Carcetti?
Yeah, Carcetti.
Oh, man. Well, that looks... I mean, there's not much info on it, but it's on IMDb, and it says it's completed, so I'm excited about that. And then,
yeah, that shit was a wild character to play, man, because,
must have been intense.
You're going through these lines, you know, you and whoever you're practicing lines with, but then we get out to where we're filming on location. They shut down a whole block, and it's like 1968 Chicago, you know, and it's in the Black Panthers headquarters across the street from them. And I'm supposed to be provoking them on the loudspeaker, telling racist jokes and shit like that, insulting the civilians in the street on this block to get the Black Panthers to come out, because we're pissed because there was some shots taken at a couple of police officers and shit. So I got to see what that's about, what being that kind of guy's about.
Jesus, that's intense, man.
Yeah, and yo, when the fucking extras are there, yo, everybody understands we're acting, and people were way cooler about it. Like, I didn't know how people were going to be about it. you know, like offset or like behind the scenes after having to do what I had to do.
Well, if they have trust in the director, you know what I mean, then they know that he's picking the right people. You know, like that's
exactly, man.
That's great, man. And then, I mean, just to keep it moving, seems to be something else coming out that you're listed on called The Birthday Cake.
Yeah. That's I'm excited to see. That's going to be a bugged out movie, and I'm excited to see it. I got to go inside. We got the silence. I'm out on the balcony right now. Yeah.
That looks like it's got some pretty big stars in it, and yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I don't even know. I mean, I know it's good. Everything I saw looks great, but I don't even know what to expect. You know what I mean? It was shot in a cool way that I've not really seen something shot before. The way they did this, I don't want to give too much away.
This seems like it was probably pretty high budget, right? I mean, it's got some stars. It's listed with you and
I wouldn't say that. No, they got creative. I don't want to like tell their story or whatever, but they got creative with the budget and they made it work. And they got a lot of fucking amazing people, like a lot of amazing people.
That's that.
And I'm honored to be a part of it. I really the way I got on that, I was calling around for my reel. I was calling people I worked with before, trying to put my reel together. And me and this one guy who I worked on Dad Day with, this guy Greg, we got into a conversation, and he's like, what are you working on? I told him, I'm like, what are you working on? And he told me, and I'm like, wait, a fucking mob movie, and you shooting in Gravesend and Bensonhurst? I said, son, I need in on this, man. I need in on this. So in the Shockers movie, in the Fred Hampton thing, I ended up doing my own stunts, like with a stunt coordinator. Not like they were any crazy stunts or whatever, but like the fight scenes and shit like that, and shooting guns. That's all got to be,
coordinated,
choreographed, coordinated by a stunt coordinator. I guess that's where they get the name from. And so I put down for when I was going for this mob movie, I really pushed to get on there that I could do stunts. So they got me in there because, I mainly got my way in because I could also do my own stunts and fight scenes and shit like that. And, I play a henchman named Biagio. And it's a very small part, but it was fun to be a part of because I can check that off the list now, man. I always wanted to be in a mob movie. I was kind of pissed that I kind of, missed chances for certain things existed when I wasn't acting or other shit would come by and just, I had never been. Now I can check that off.
Well, this isn't going to be the last one. I'll tell you that right now. A sight unseen.
Nah, but I want to get pigeonholed into that shit. You know what I mean?
I just mean movies, like crazy movies that you're going to be in. You're going to be getting parts from all these things, man. This is fucking dope as hell.
So far, it's wait. We got like kind of working class guy in a van. Then I play a drug dealer, and then
a protection for a drug dealer,
mafia hitman, and then a fucking scumbag cop.
All right, so now, it's time to branch out. Whatever, you're gonna play some total opposite shit and take the whole game by storm.
Man. Yeah, I want to be like some sensitive, like poetic character or something, man. For real, I could do it. Right now everything, the whole world stopped. So
yeah, but
I'm not thinking about that too much. I'm just doing what I have power over. And right now, what I have power over is like creating the stuff that I do, like my visual arts, putting stuff out that I could put out on my own, like music, art in the streets.
They say you should listen twice as much as you're talking. So nowadays, I only rap half as often. On the road again, like Willie Nelson touring. Quit rap, make country music down in Austin. It's more than a feeling, just like that band Boston. Back in my day, did petty and grand larceny, arson, stolen cars and carcinogens, fights in bars and things that's harmful to him. Or when the Saints go marching in, walk my coffin through New Orleans with a second line marching band. You go out like the end of the month of March, like a lamb, and I'ma go out the same way that it came in. Like the Metro Gold with Maya Lion. Don't want a part of nothing that my mind don't find inspiring. Wrote this rhyme of mine on a paper plate in a spiral line. Ask the Space King, I ain't lying.
Yeah, man, that's a good segue. I wanted to switch it up and talk about that. Let me try to describe first this thing. One of the most recent things that I saw you do was build these sculptures. They were small sculptures. Maybe, to me, from the pictures, they maybe looked like a foot or under. How tall are they? 18 inches? Something like that?
Which ones? The whole thing? The box? The whole box?
The box that goes inside the fire pole.
Yeah, it's about a foot.
It's about a foot. And so around the city, they're not too much around where I live, but you'll see them somewhere. You're out. What neighborhood are you doing this in?
I'm doing it all over Brooklyn. I'm starting just in Brooklyn right now because there's enough of them off the top of my head that I know about that are hollowed out. So I don't want to like make a whole map and get too crazy. Like I have kind of in the back of my head which ones exist, and then I'll be like, okay, that one's next.
So a broader, to give a broader perspective, don't give me the exact neighborhood, but it's out in Brooklyn and it's not downtown. You know what I mean? It's a little out. And
yeah, it's around. There's a few of them.
But so what is the official term for these red fire poles? They're not fire hydrants, or are they hydrants?
No, they're like fire box, like alarm boxes.
They're alarm boxes. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're not in use anymore, and you kind of like found ones that are hollowed out, and you've been putting these dope sculptures in.
Yeah, only the ones that are hollowed out. Like, I don't know how in use the other ones are, but that's not really... Hey, it's not really for me to decide, like...
Yeah, the fire department is not... Yeah, exactly. Fuck the NYPD, but the fire department is...
shit burns down.
Yeah.
Like, or if some lady needs... She's being fouled and she needs to pull that alarm. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to get in the way of all of that.
Nah.
But when they're hollowed out and they just been, people put like, the crushed up paper bags from the bodega in there. You'll see like a Nesquik, some like blunt fillings and shit. That I feel like, it's not, I'm definitely not doing anything bad. Maybe I'm doing something good to some people. Maybe some people don't care. Maybe some people are like, they shouldn't do that. But, I mean, at the very least, I'm putting an aesthetic plug in that space, and no garbage could go in there. So that's a plus, even if you didn't like the stuff that I'm doing. You know what I mean? And second of all, I don't give a fuck if they don't like it.
That's what I was about to say.
But, you know what I mean? I come from like doing graffiti and shit like that. So the first night out, we're doing one of these installations, and this lady, I did it all like all stealthy, like because I'm used to going out on graffiti missions. So the first night I went out, I was like on some like graffiti mission, and being all like stealthy and with it because like they'll take you to jail for graffiti, and then people call the cops on you and shit. I'm doing this. My wife is there and she's helping me and kind of like looking out and everything. And a woman walks by as I'm like doing the last corking. At this point, I'm in the clear. I don't care. I'm doing the last sealing of it. But I'm still like, is this fucking lady going to say something? And she stops and she looks. I'm getting ready for her to say something obnoxious and annoying. And she's like, wow, that's really great. Thank you so much. You're like beautifying it. I did not expect that. I was like taken back. I was like, oh, thanks. This lady, she looked like kind of wavy and hippie-ish, 50-year-old like white lady with like paint on her pants, looked like an artist, yogi, crunchy type. But I was like, all right, well, that was a different interaction than I've ever had when I was doing graffiti.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's dope, man. And these things are really cool.
But yeah, so basically, just to give a description, they're like these like. They're 1 foot tall, about 8 inches wide, and they're completely made of marble. Like this box is made of marble, then it's covered with plexi, and inside are like these self-portraits that I do. I do different self-portraits, like they're sculptures made of cement. sometimes resin, sometimes other things. And they're molds that I make. And it'll be like self-portrait of the artist as Doric column outside Agrigento, you know? Very specific things that are important to me and my, you know, my identity.
That's dope as hell, man.
Like my identity, which is fading. Your identity fades as you realize you really can't be labeled like that. You know what I mean? So before I get too woke or something and have too much of a spiritual awakening and realize I am nothing, you know, yo sono niente, that you know, I want to basically record all of these different, document all these different things I identified with as a part of my fading identity as an Italian-American New Yorker. You know, when I grew up, where I grew up, first of all, I thought everybody in the world was Italian. I didn't realize that I just lived in a very small, like, section of the world was the way it was. And, you know, in my lifetime, I saw those people become Americans and move to Jersey and the suburbs and just, you know, go from eating you know, my cousin, good example, my cousin who's my age, he has a kid, he goes to a place called Mazzanti's for sandwiches, right? Beautiful spot, been there for like 100 years outside of Philly. His son don't want Mazzanti's, his son wants fucking Wawa sandwich. You know what I mean? I've seen this happen. So I'm recording the culture of my people by doing that and the things I identify with. So I'll replace, the body is always the same. The body is my body. I did like a 3D scan and all of this stuff, had that printed, and then tooled it down and made a silicone mold that I pour different mediums in, like resin, concrete, all of that stuff. The heads could be a variety of things. The head is what changes.
That's fucking dope, man.
The head could be a column. It could be like the they call it the malocchio or the cornuto, which is like the horns, the hands making the horns.
You making another one today? You got another one going right now, you said, right?
I'm making one right now. I'm perfecting the
Nice.
horns. You know, the hand, the horns, the cornuto, the malocchio. They call it the malocchio. The malocchio means mal is bad, and occhio means eye. So it means like evil eye, but these are hands. You know, it's basically all of those fucking things, the horn, the corny, all of that stuff, is to protect you from people stealing your virility.
Nice.
You know, it's for the men to protect their machismo. Like, cornuto means like, I don't know the exact translation, but when they say, they made him cornuto, it means your wife was like banging another guy behind your back. And now you're cornuto because this dude and her got together, you know, or shit like that. So it's to ward off. It's to fend off all of that stuff. So yeah, today I was making the pieces for that because I put out the couple of installations I did of columns, and now I want to put out a couple of different, lots of different characters.
Heads.
But the next character is going to be
Nice.
the horns, yeah. And I'm switching it up. I want to be always evolving. I don't want to get complacent in anything
Right.
I'm doing, you know?
Well, that's fucking dope, man. And you're taking pictures of those, and those are on your Instagram, right? And people can see those. There'll be a link
Yeah.
in the description, so people can see
Thank
that
you.
and all your other fucking ridiculous art that's been going on for years. The different sculptures, the different, yeah, man. There's been a lot of that, and also the music, man.
I think I'm losing my mind, and I am. I thought it once before, and now it's happening again. Oh, I just needed medication. Tried all the alternatives, even meditations. Yeah, I've been sitting full lotus, warriors 1s and 2s. Tried all the poses. I tried to battle my neuroses. No matter what I did, though, I still felt bogus. I should feel excellent like Bill and Ted. Need to do like BC Boy's third album and check my head. Since you left, the whole world seemed foreign. Like when I got concussed, that one time after sparring. Pardon, sometimes this world can be disheartening, and the trick is just to make it through, not let it get you hardened. Like being a young man on the school bus, had to put your school bag on your lap when you stood up.
And the principal disadvantage of symbols is that we confuse them with reality. Just as we confuse money actual wealth. And our name, about ourselves, our ideas of ourselves, our images of ourselves, with ourselves.
I can't front, I'm a little bit overall. Maybe move to a farm and get a pair of overalls. Trade in the subway for a John Deere. Maybe get a loincloth, carve myself a spear. Yeah, go for walks with the elders, the elders. They're such wonderful storytellers. Listen to the wisdoms of unwritten traditions since the beginnings of the many, many different solar systems. Like the story of the aardvark. Meanwhile, in the
Also
city
the
with
music,
the
man. I mean, I cut
avant-garde
these
art.
episodes up. I don't know if you listen to any of the other ones, but I cut them up and like put people's music in, right? So there'll be some of your music in here during the edits. You've been making music since you were super young. I came across your stuff.
Yes.
The first music of yours that I heard was called Iller Than Theirs, a project that you had with rapper Cray, right? And that was
Cray from Chances was my longtime best friend. You know,
that was
my
what?
brother.
That was what? 2013, maybe? What? 2000?
No way. We started making music together. There was a group called Nuclear Family. I was a part of, and at one point there was 11 people in there. Then we got it down to like seven solid people.
Nuclear
I think.
Family.
And yeah, and when I first started making music, I kind of was just freestyling and running around the city and all of that. And then I linked up with these guys, and then out of everybody, you know, you just find somebody you work with more than the other guys for whatever reason. You just click. And I just like the process that me and Cray would always just come up with shit, you know? And that's how we formed that group inside a group. And there was other groups inside the group. You had Junk Science. Then you had Scott and Probe. They made their own songs together, Scott and Probe show.
Cavalier was doing solo stuff, but working with you guys as well.
But he wasn't in our group. I wish he was, man. That would have been a good addition.
He wasn't in Nook Fam?
No, he wasn't in Nook Fam. He was in
That's
the dugout.
right. Okay, so
that was a beautiful time, man. We had our group, Nuclear Family, but then that was even a bigger group. There was the dugout, which was another rap group with like a bunch of dudes, and then NRO, New Rap Order, which was another rap group with another bunch of dudes. You know, so we had these giant posses. So if these three groups did shows together, just the people in the groups filled the house.
I remember,
almost.
man. Southpaw,
you know?
Southpaw.
So then we bring our people. Shit was packed out, man. Yeah, Southport. It was a good time. It was a beautiful time. I still talk to a lot of those guys. You know, I still have, you know, I still think fondly of all of those people, man. They're beautiful people, and they're leading. We were kids, and they've all grown to be like, you know, just solid men.
It's crazy,
you know?
man. So that was so Iller Than Theirs formed as a smaller part of Nuclear Family, and then ended up putting an album out. I said 2013, but that was off, right? What is it, like 2000?
No. So I came back in 2004. I was living in an apartment with Cray, Probe, and Scott in this loft on 18th Street, and me and Cray started making music there under Iller Than Theirs. And then we produced the album almost fully with J. Howells Worthman, but in the beginning it was everybody's beats. For some reason, we just ended up, I don't remember why, I don't remember what happened. We ended up with mostly production from J. Howells Worthman, and he got a lot of the music he sampled from was from the group Javelin, played stuff and just gave it to him, and he chopped it up. You know, George Lang and Tom from Javelin. I don't know if they gave it to him under the name of Javelin or what, but you know, that was before they even really popped off. J. Howells Worthman knew them. You know, he worked with them before, and he knew them from wherever he knew them. And so that album came out. That album was probably finished in 2005, 2006, and came out in like 2006 and a half.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite rap albums of like all time, man. You guys fucking killed that shit.
It goes wash, rinse, repeat. Then toss it in a tumble dry. Humble guy with a good heart and a wonderful mind. I do my best work, unshowered, unshaved, unemployed, unattended, alone, and unscathed, unpolished till I get my little shine on stage. Walk the road of the righteous, and that road is sometimes unpaved. Some say to move a muscle changes the thought. Then I take a major loss and turn it into the greatest song. That's my opinion, though everybody has one. Is when you vocalize it, that's when you could catch a bear. One that lands one for critics and all you journalists. I rap like I got next and I don't really care whose turn it is. Whose world is this? I couldn't really answer that. Wish animals would rise up and try to take the planet back. Go ahead and brandish that deed, that house title. They wouldn't understand it, they just understand survival. Without our gadgets, who would be the fittest? Somewhere down the line, traded Christmases for shitless. Somewhere down the line, went from innocent to cynic. Someone's on the line and they running up my minutes. Who is it? They trying to sell me something. $100 phone bill and nobody tells me nothing. Ooh, there's a werewolf in London. Shit's about to get deeper than the fat man's belly button. Pick the length out, sit back and simmer down. The tattoo on my arm, reach snakes isn't allowed. Isn't it that how we earn minimal wow? They reap the benefits and fuck us with a smile. Take me to your leader, I'll throw the first mile. I told since I was 4, wasn't big on rules or abiding laws. Unless they was the laws laid out by the Lord. Or whatever you decide to call it, good inside us all. I'm on the ball like stitches on the baseball. Lead us Babylon,
I probably
roll
heard
until
of
the
it
place
because of
falls.
Def Jux, because it was before I moved down to Brooklyn, so it was before I met you guys. But that label was kind of big, you know what I mean? Well, obviously it was kind of big, so I kind of would, anything they put out, I would listen to. But then through that album, I discovered more of your music, more of your friends and collaborators' music. And the funny thing is, man, the funnier connection between all this and a lot of the other people that I work with is that I moved down here and I moved into an apartment above this club that I'm still in now. The club is not there anymore.
Yes, holy shit.
But I moved into a club above Southpaw. Not only that, there's a triple connection. A good friend of mine, Luke, who comes up on this podcast a lot, who I went to high school with, became friends with a very good friend of yours named Angus, who was a tattoo artist.
Yes. Angus is like my brother. You know, we lived together. He's tattooed. I let him. Some of the first tattoos he did were on me, man.
And because of all those connections, you guys were playing Southpaw all the time. I ended up getting to meet you, and I was already a fan of your music and listening to it and the junk science stuff. But we met in Southpaw. I met you through Luke. I don't remember the first times or whatever, but that was way back in 2005 and 6. You guys were putting that out. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it's just been like fast forward to now, we're still working on stuff slowly but surely. What year do you think One-Offs and One-Upmanships came out? Was that like 2000? That was like 2013.
It came out in 2015.
Okay. So about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was an amalgamation of music that you collected between basically Iller Than Theirs, in between other albums that you put out with Scott Thorough. So you had after Iller Than Theirs, it was you were dropping projects with Scott Thorough, Scott and Tone.
Yes, it went. I believe it went. Nuclear Family had an EP, the new singles EP. I think I was on one song with that because I had just moved back. I left New York for Arizona, and kind of had quit rap, and then came back even stronger. Like quit to the point to where I couldn't take this normal life that I tried to live, and fucking came back with a vengeance. Like, and then came back to Nuclear Family because these guys started actually doing shows and shit. It was never thinkable that anybody would want would want to hear the shit that any group of fucking, weirdo white kids were going to make. It just wasn't in the cards back then. This is before you got to understand it was a different landscape. It wasn't, you just couldn't. Nobody wanted to hear that shit. It was a different landscape. There's none of these kids would have been able to get on that. A lot of these kids that are on now would not have been able to get on.
I do.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And most of my shit was for fun, bro. It was a hobby. It was a sport. I was going around on the subways everywhere. Me and this other kid, Wordplay, other white boy, 2 white boys going around, and we got respect. You know what I mean? We would go and this is like you couldn't walk a half a city block without bumping into a group of kids rapping on the corner. And I used to freestyle my ass off. I couldn't record music. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't write. I was all fucked up. You know, I was drunk and high and just didn't like being indoors. I like being outside and on the go all the time. Plus, we were young, so you couldn't be in that condition in anybody's house, anybody's parents' house. So we were just out all the time. So that's why I started rapping, because I loved music, and you didn't need to stay home to do it. An instrument, you need to stay home and practice. This shit, so you couldn't. A lot of these kids, what I'm saying is a lot of these kids wouldn't have been able to get on the way they're on right now, because it was a different landscape. So I didn't think anybody was going to want to hear this shit. So I was like, yo, let me go, you know, and if you want to check it, the song Rappers Like Gang Life that I did is kind of a song about, it's a joke autobiographical on like quitting rap and getting back into rap. And a lot of it is based on the vibe of like when I moved to Arizona and then came back after a couple of years in my early 20s. So anyways, I didn't think, I moved to Arizona, I'm like, nobody's going to want to hear a bunch of goofy fucking white kids rapping. I mean, I know the Beastie Boys is a thing, but that happened already. And then, you know, Eminem filled whatever slot that needed to be slot. But even before, we started before we even had heard of any of that or whatever. We just made this shit in Craig's bedroom, at his parents' house. His parents are saints. They would let these fucking random kids yelling crazy ad-libs on tracks, recording at like 1 a.m. Once in a while, his dad would stick his head in the fucking door, and all the kids would just like tense up. He'd be like, yeah, I live here. He'd be like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit, an actual adult. So, you know, I moved away, and then I saw these kids started to do, the reason I said all of that stuff, like I didn't think nobody would want to listen to this shit at all, is because then these kids started to do shows at colleges and shit. Opened for the Far Side. They opened for Ghostface. And I'm like, man, Nuclear Family minus me.
You had moved away.
Minus me. Because I'm like, fuck, I leave, and now this shit is popping. Yeah, I'm coming back, man. And at that very moment, everything worked out. The house I was living in burned down in Arizona. The chick I was with, she left. The car that I had, I said, yo, I'm working so hard just to have a fucking Honda Civic. Come repo this shit, man. I'm over this shit. I bought a used clunker, and then just started making art and working hardly at all, and was kind of bumming around, just, you know. But I was in my early 20s, so that was okay, man. You know, my water would just get shut off back then, and you know, maybe some chick I was hanging with at the time would pay to get it turned back on. You know, it's not a lifestyle that would be all right with me today, but it's a lifestyle I was living at the time.
All right, and, so you moved back to New York.
So around this time, I moved back to New York because it was serendipitous, man. My shit burnt down, and all of a sudden, Craig's looking for a roommate. I visited around the time of the blackout, like right after the blackout of NYC. I wasn't there for the blackout, but I came around that time, and spot an apartment opened up. So I went back to Arizona for like a month or something, straighten up my loose ends, and drove across the country back to Brooklyn and hopped in and landed with these guys. And I came with like one verse on the album we put out. And, you know, I'd have one verse to do with a show, 2 verses to do with a show. Within months, I had like 6 verses, and I just wrote more than I ever had before, man. It was a wonderful time. I'm glad I'm not living it today, but it was a beautiful time that it existed, man.
I was 13, rolling through a vacant lot. Bunny hopping over shit while some vagrants watch. To escape the cops, cause I made it hot. With chlorine bombs and potato blocks. I was 19, on the run from Vandal Squad. With my partner in crime on my handlebars. Barbaric slobs, banned from bars. Before we was even old enough to stand in bars, Somehow the rap game remind me of the graph game. Used to cross out cats' names with black paint. Now all my shirts cut off, the sleeves be fresh out the mouth to pick with tea tree. No eyes to doubt, but the name got 3 T's. Bring it back to the days of cacas and PPs. I'll show you mine, if you show me yours. We can ride it to the sunset on my Metro card.
And then Tone came out, still out of all that crew. You became friends with.
Yeah, and Illinois came by when you work with a group of 7 people. Like we were trying to make a Nuclear Family album, But then, like, the same people would just work with the same people. I would just keep making songs with Prey, making songs with Prey, and be like, yo, fuck it, let's make a weird EP, you know, just fun. And it was great to have that camaraderie, like, yo, me and you were working on this thing. You know, it's fun to have a partner in a project. That's kind of like what I miss about being like kind of a solo artist, is having like another rapper to write with and shit like that, man. It was a lot of fun to be in a group, because you're not in it all alone, you know?
Man.
It's not me looking for somebody to DJ last minute and all of that shit. You know, it was you and a partner, and you're traveling together. It was a little more wholesome and you know, beautiful of a thing to be in a group of you know,
and
your
then
brothers.
After that, you kind of had a group going with Scott. So you linked up with Scott Thorough, who's a phenomenal producer, and basically would work one-on-one with him to produce whole albums, whole projects, Scott and Tone projects. And those came out over the course of, you know, between 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, you know.
Yeah, and those are ultra collaborative. It wasn't like sometimes like, you know, a dude that never met another, and I've done this before, and there's nothing wrong with this, that never met another dude, like, got sent a folder of beats over the internet, and then now they have an album together. And like me and Scott were hanging out, working on hooks. You know, anytime we hung out, it was like we like broke the mold of like any type of music. Like, we invented new genres and shit.
I'll tell you, man, those projects are some of my favorite projects, man. You guys are ridiculously inventive. People need to hear these projects. They're insane.
And I mean that with no arrogance either. I understand that can sound arrogant, but I don't mean that arrogant. We had such a good, you know, creative relationship, and it was just fun. It's like, let's try this. And next thing you know, the kid's got a guitar in his fucking hand, or he's got like some homemade instrument, and we're doing this. And I'm like, you know, I listened to a lot of like hardcore and punk shit back in the day, and I'd be like, yo, let's try replaying this old punk song, but like on synth. You know, or he would say, let's do this, you know, and we would happen to have some kid over, and some like Caribbean kid, we'd be like, yo, spit this reggae verse right here. And we would write like a 4-verse song overnight, you know. And, you know, I've been collaborating with Scott again right now.
Well, we'll get to that. We got some new stuff, even in between those. So you got the Iller Than Airs, that's a group project that you put out. You have the collaborative project, Scott and Tone, which is a very collaborative project that you work on. And then there were a couple solo projects as well. There's a couple EPs that I love. People need to go listen to the Black Flag project. That's what was the name of that one?
It was the Black Six Sessions, Tone Tank, the Black Six Sessions, and it's like a 5 or 6 song EP. If you find like the one with the bonus song, it's a 6-song EP. I cut one of them just to keep the project real short and tight. And it's all hardcore samples. It's all samples from like a lot of old New York hardcore, a lot of old oi shit, punk shit.
Yeah, man. And you had
with like 4 or 5 different producers. Doc Strange on that. I think J. Howells Worthman. You know, it's been a long time. I know Scott was definitely on that.
And you
it's been a long
time.
Your
ass over these punk ass hardcore shit, oi shit, and then either before or after that, I think after you did the surf guitar shit. So you had the King of Surf Guitar rap.
Did the surf guitar? Yeah, I was writing those basically at the same time. Those albums came out within a month of each other, and they couldn't be more different.
Definitely couldn't.
You know, I was just at the time I wrote surf guitar. I was going to like a lot of like, I was just it was over the winter. I was getting really like cabin feverish, and I just kind of needed to invent the world other than the world of cold New York. You know, I needed to just invent a different kind of world. And I was doing like a lot of like thrift store digging, not just for records and stuff, but for like objects. And I was just finding all this crazy shit, like typewriters. And so I wrote that whole album on a typewriter. What? I actually found a couple of the pages. Yeah. I was trying to get on some like real, like Gonzo, Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing meets like Pee-wee's Playhouse, and like pulp novels of like the Southwest.
Well, we'll put a link to the video too, because there's a video that you shot for that. That's incredible. the king of surf guitar. Yeah, man, just absolutely right.
Permanently altered as a fault of my own doing. I guess the younger me foresaw the lameness of adulthood, and both of the door closed for the note to self, like whoever knocks or yells, no matter who, don't open it. Even if my own fist became the door knocker, caught myself red-handed like the claws of a lobster. When things head south like the paws of a boxer who's left-handed, a comedian with the best stand-up who laughed in the face of the harsh realities. An American me gringo with a fucking Holmes mentality. Walk like a man on some Frankie Valley steez who's seen more debaucheries than Biker Valley weeks now. Who else could freak this Mexican Cali beat? Saw Sally by the seashore and she let me share her sheet. Sally's so much fun when she's clear so scantily with them copper tone tan lines that she clearly lets me see now. Beach cruising, I'm a high power mutant, not meant for mass production.
But I didn't want to. The funny thing is, like, I do these short projects, but I didn't want to stick with them like as like that's my genre. You know what I mean? It was a project, and I do it, and it's kind of like one and done. You know, the same way like the Black Six. It was a little rah-rah, you know, it was a little rah-rah. And, like, I couldn't make that album today. I'm a different person. I was an angrier, younger, more pissed off kind of dude. And, you know, now it's a little bit different. You know, if you're the same personality as you are in your 40s as in your 20s, I don't mean your general type of person, but I mean, you know, if you're still fucking flipping out all the time and all of this shit, I mean, that, to me, that, you know, that's not something I want to be.
You keep the same core values, but you change your outward reaction to the, your tangible reaction to the...
And maybe even you realize some of your core values were immature or undeveloped. And, you know, it's okay to move on from them, you know?
Man, and so to fast forward even more, you got...
Those were like 2008, though. And I think the Scott and Tone was like 2010.
Okay. And then after that, you did the one-off and one-upsmanships, which was a project, an album, a mixtape, a collection of songs. That's truly just incredible.
Yeah, it was a collection of one-off songs. We didn't even realize that was going to be an album. I had so many amazing producers I got to work with. I have so many great friends rapping with me on that project. It's a 20-song, a 21-song project. It's exactly an hour. That came out on cassette tape, and that I love the other projects I worked on with people, but this is the project I'm most proud of, because I feel like it most speaks to my personality, to my most consistent personality that I am today. Like I feel like it's a lot more humorous, tongue-in-cheek, and a lot more playful than a lot of the other stuff I did. I mean, I guess you can't really get more playful than like surf guitar where I'm rapping is like some fucking
Gonzo character
creature from the Black Lagoon, Gonzo character. But you know, I feel this tapped into the real, true who I am and my core being. So I'm most proud of that because, like, yo, maybe some shit you spit quicker, you rap faster or quicker, or is better produced, or this and that. But I feel like, you know, the goal of the artist is to really nail your insides and make it an external thing that you articulated, you know. And I feel like I achieved that more than I did in any other music project I ever worked on.
It's
and that's what I want to continue. That's the goal. That's the vibe I'm trying to continue to do. Because if I write something, I don't care if it was clever or cute. I got cute hopping around the bars and everything like that. I said a couple current events things that people might think are hot for a second. If the true who I am isn't on there, then I scribble it out and it's not coming out, you know? That's why I don't put out that much stuff anymore.
We got a couple new things out. You got a country song and a rap song with Scott Thorough. Came out a few months ago.
Yes.
That shit is phenomenal. What is it? Detention. What is the name of that? What is the name of that?
It's the Queen's House of Detention. Is the name of the country song, and I think I'm losing my mind this time is the name of the other song. It's a rap song. And the country song is actually
that's
part
where I was going to ask. Tell me a little bit about this country song.
A larger project that is yet to be finished. The start of that country album came after I was you know, I don't drink or party anymore, but I was kind of out on a bender, out on a tear for quite some months. You know, like 5 or 6 years ago. I've been not doing anything for about 5 or 6 years or whatever. It's just my life is better off without it. And more importantly, the people in my life are better off when I'm not doing that. I just realized my shit was really destructive to other people, you know, so I needed to just dead it all. And I'm grateful for that. But I was out on like a serious fucking bender. You know, I just was going through maybe some kind of midlife crisis. I had like motorcycles, shit, and I was all pilled out all the time, and you know, would go out late. I worked late, doing like homeless outreach, and so I worked late. So I would get off of work at 2:00, and then I would get fucked up. You know, go to a bar, and only the worst bars in the world
from 2 to 4,
yeah, and I'm going to those bars. The bars that close for an hour and then open again at 6 in the morning. I'm going to there. And I had plans with Serengeti one night to meet, and we're meeting at like 3 in the morning. We meet at Hank's. And Hank's was my joint, man. I hadn't been there in years because I had retired from drinking for one period of time, and now I was out. And I hadn't been there for years. All of a sudden, I go back, and there's like some kind of like yuppie is like, just like, you know, a fucking out of state white kid there, working there. And he's like, yeah, we're closing, guys. I'm like, yo, this is Hank's. What the fuck you mean you're closing, son? This is Hank's. And, whatever, I think we got them to agree to give us like one drink. And then we're not leaving. You got to give us a fucking drink. You know, thanks. And then we go to this other spot on like 4th Avenue. And me and fucking Serengeti are getting hammered. Like, we're going in. And we end up in this other bar, and like we're being a little outlandish in the bar. Like, he pulls out, I had this fucking switchblade, and he's fucking playing with the switchblade, and he can't figure out how to close it because it's like a little trick. You have to, and then the bartender was like some like kind of like LA-ish, like Hispanic kid with like a little top knot and shit. And we're wilding. And the dude's like, you guys gotta chill. I'm like, yo. He's like, yo, you look like Dave Navarro. And I'm like, yo, never trust a Latin man with a top knot. Like, we just really getting dumb. We really getting disrespectful. You can edit whatever you want to edit out of that. And he's like, guys, I just want you to know there's a camera right here. It's being recorded. Everything you're doing is being recorded. You guys are playing with knives. And, you know, I'm like, I'm not doing shit, bro. Just give me my fucking drink, you know. Anyway, he's like, no, you guys are cut off. And Serengeti's like, all right, so we'll take 2 Jamesons. And he's like, no, you guys are cut off. He's like, all right, so 4 Jamesons. No, you guys are cut off. 8 Jamesons, please. We end up in a fucking bodega. He's singing this crazy song. He's singing, I feel so much like a baby. Baby, I'm barely hanging on. Go opening the fucking refrigerators, going through the beer section in the bodega. Then he's saying, this is my own decision. People are looking at us like we're absolutely nuts. And he had a Dennehy mustache. He had like the big, ridiculous Dennehy mustache going on. And the whole time we're there, he's like, yo, we can just go drink in the hotel. Because he was out. He was like working with Sufjan Stevens or something. He was out here in New York for a project that they were working on. And I'm like, bro, like, I want to be out, though. Like, why be in a hotel? There's no girls in your hotel. I don't want to go to your hotel, bro. He's like, nah, it's not like that, bro. Let's just go to a hotel. It's Holiday Inn. I'm like, nah, bro, it's Holiday Inn. I'm like, it's Holiday Inn Express. He's like, no, it's Holiday Inn. I'm like, Express. So, anyway, we did a fucking crazy bender. I mean, just there's parts. Fast forward to the morning. And I'm just fucking stumbling into the daylight. I didn't sleep. I don't remember most of the night. And that's a good thing, probably. It was the Bachelors. I think more people than just me and Dave were involved. And I'll leave it at that. And I remember I bumped into some guy who's like, this is in like the Gowanus area, this Holiday Inn Express. I bumped into some fucking civilian, some nice regular civilian who's probably here on business. And I'm coming through. I got this fucking crazy looking beard. I just probably smell all of the fucking intoxicants coming out of my pores. And what's it called? I step in the elevator, some like businessman's already in there. And he's just being polite, you know. He gives me like the little smile and the nod, and I'm like, "You believe I fucking paid to feel like this?" He fucking like looked at the fucking floor. He wanted no part of it. Like, I paid to feel like this. And I come home, I kick in the fucking door of my roommate's room. Now it's like 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. I haven't slept. I'm still drinking, and I fucking wake up. I wake my roommate, this dude, Little Tony Matika, another musician, all around great dude. It was like my little brother. He was living here. I kicked open the door, and he's like, I'm like, you know, he's hurting. I'm like, would you go out drinking last night? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, I'm still fucking drinking. I take the Jim Beam off his dresser. I'm like, wake up. We got a country song to write.
While I was sitting in the Queen's House of Detention, smoking a loose cigarette and talking to some Mexicans. And what's that you say? What was I doing in the Queen's House of Detention? Well, I used to get drunk and then I'd get mean. Carry blunt objects around with me and oh, I was out of my mind. I'd ruined a lot of good people's real good times. I'd drink what I could to get out of my skin. I'd hit on a her, I'd beat up a him. Now I know it was all out of fright. Believe it or not, I just wanted to be liked. It's a funny way to go about it. The drugs and the beer, they'd muzzle the fear and numb that thing between my ears. I'd put on a front like I was real bad. Your self-worth was something that I ain't had. Well, if you stay alive long enough in life, and you're lucky enough to get some good advice, well, let's say I put down the drugs, stay away from the beers, and I'm learning to use this thing between my ears.
So that started my country song writing career. I wrote about 6, 7, and 8 songs, man. And the thing is, for me, they were easier to write than they are to record. So me and you are going to revisit this when this quarantine is over. But the first line, I'm going to just say that he woke up fucking paranoid, like, yo, Tony, what happened? We didn't do anything. We didn't kill anybody, did we? Like, calling me. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't find my wallet. And so we wrote the song. I wrote this song with Little Tone, called Cancel the Card, Cancel the Cards.
Man.
And it goes, cancel the cards, hide all the cars. You know, everybody's had those nights.
Bro.
Cancel the cards. It goes, cancel the cards, hide all the cars. I think that someone stole my wallet. I don't know who's here. Had I got past the concierge. Cancel the cards, hide all the cars. Laying in my bed at the Holiday Inn Express. I think I'm going to be arrested.
Man, dude, you gotta come through and finish these. These are incredible.
Yeah, bro. Again, I just had like a change of lifestyle, and like, you know, I just wasn't about that life anymore. But them songs do need to come out, you know, because of that. It's another.
So what? That was like 2000. That was like what? 2000. That was like 5-6 years ago, right?
I was playing a character. I was
hear
playing
you.
a character. I was playing a character
There
in
you
my
go.
real life. And I didn't realize, I was fucked up, and I was playing a character of a motorcycle riding country guy. Meanwhile, I'm like Italian, Brooklyn, Long Island. But whatever, I was living that life. I was about that life. You couldn't tell me I wasn't about that life. And then the next day, that same fucking day, I did that, actually. There's footage of me that day, because I had to go do an interview for the Gramercy Theater that I did with Homeboy Sandman and
Yeah, I
Open
remember
Mike
that
Eagle.
show.
We had to do an interview. We did interviews. Me, I Am Many Styles, and Homeboy Sandman. Everybody had to do an interview for that show. So I'm fucking tanked, and you could see me. I'm like a whirlwind, fucking whatever that's called. Like, the Gravitron. I'm like fucking spinning like a teacup, bro. While I'm talking, I can't stand still because I had to I was all fucked up, and then the anxiety hits, and then I had to take pills and that's not partying, bro. That's not fun.
Well, listen, man, that's
That's
behind
not
you
fun.
now, right?
So,
That was 5-6 years ago, and
No, I don't regret it. I'm just saying for anybody, I'm not glorifying that shit. I don't care. I'm not ashamed of shit. If I wouldn't tell it, I didn't think it was funny, I wouldn't tell it. I'm not ashamed of shit. I just want to know. I'm not glorifying that. And anybody out there, it was just no longer. I was calling it partying. That's no longer partying. That's chemistry. You know what I mean? When I got to take a little bit of this to balance a little bit of this to balance it, that's science. That's chemistry. It's no longer fucking fun.
right.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, this footage of that day, we can even click this footage to that because it's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I was wilding. There's nothing else to say.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap this up soon, but I gotta ask two more things. One is hilarious, and this might get cut, and we might not talk about it. But I remember a long time ago, you were on Was it Dateline?
I don't care. We don't have to cut.
No,
I ain't seen shit.
I know.
I
I'm
don't care.
just making a note.
Yeah.
But if we can, if you want,
No, we don't have to cut it. We don't have to cut it. No. I appreciate that. No, I appreciate
ridiculous.
that. But
What was the name of the show,
Nah,
Tom?
man. Inside Edition.
Fucking Edition. You were on Inside Edition.
Yes.
Eyewitness Dennis Fallon asked Edori if he could sit down.
And what'd you say?
I did give him a wise remark. And then
What was the wise remark you gave?
I told him the only way he was sitting here within the next 5 minutes is if he grew blonde hair and
Dennis managed to get a different seat.
And then Mr. Fortini came over. I guess, they tried to muscle me out of the seat.
How they try to muscle you out of the seat?
He was the aggressor.
I
He
answered
was
nicely.
He was the aggressor?
That's when my friends were standing up when the bat was being
And
swung.
they grabbed him and subdued him?
Well, they grabbed the bat.
Where did the punches and kicks come in?
Just sit down.
From all your friends.
Yeah.
He says I was pushed. They're making them sound like they were total innocent the whole time, sitting there being angels. I was assaulted by all 4 of his friends, plus him.
Following the verdict, I spoke to outside.
I was outnumbered tonight as I was on the train, and they want to be tough guys. Now I can be a tough guy with a scar on his face.
I was on Inside Edition. I should start. What the fuck am I thinking, bro? I got this actor's reel. I got to include my Inside Edition.
I
clip in
saw
my
it
actor's
once,
reel.
man.
That's gonna get me in the room.
Do you have it?
I'm bugging, bro. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Listen to me. That is one of the finest pieces of television I've ever seen. Your attitude at the end of it towards the judge, 100% correct. We could tell the story.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Fuck the people you beat up. They fucking sucked. Anyway.
Yeah, bro. White dudes that are homeowners and act like fucking barbaric fucking assholes on a fucking weekend at Rangers games and shit like that. Fucking trying to fucking bully some kids that were like, I was like, before that video is like 2 years later where they do the Inside Edition. When the initial thing, that was actually, holy shit, everything's coming full circle, son. Queen's House of Detention I got taken. Queen's House of Detention was actually, I was in the Queen's House of Detention because of that
Because
night.
of the MTA at the
I was in there a
Metro
couple of
North?
times, but I got taken off. No, I wasn't on the Metro North. I was on the
LAR.
Railroad. And the shit happened that shit happened before we just departed from Penn Station, and all of a sudden there's this fucking brawl over seats on the train, and these dudes they just they weren't coming at us respectfully, and we were drunk, and we weren't the most respectful people either. I don't want to paint myself as a victim, but they tried to fucking push us around, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe I had a persecution complex, but I was like 135 pounds. I was like 18, 19 years old. These are fucking, big construction working fucking guys and shit. And they try to, they had the law on their side. They had size on their side. But I said, fuck that. They tried to push us around. I hit the fucking, they tried to jump us. I hit the dude with like a mini bat. Yes. And then got taken to the Queens, got taken off the train at Jamaica, Queens, then taken to the precinct in the fucking Jamaica Queens train station for the Long Island Railroad. They have like a precinct in that building. And then while I'm in there, in the elevator going down, they got the guy with him. He's got his fucking face split, his whole lip, like looking like fucking, I don't know, like ribbons and shit. They got him in the fucking, and the cops in the elevator, and his boy, and they separate me from my friend, so they got me all by myself. And this is the 90s, bro. This is like the late 90s, bro. Shit was a little different for me in the 90s. And, I had the cops kick the shit out of me before. And honestly, it was just part of the course of doing business. I was no angel.
Right.
And the cops extra hated us. The cops hated hoodie white kids, So the dude fucking stops the elevator, and he says, what do you say? First of all, the cop says, pick your pants up. You look like a fucking, and stops himself from saying whatever he was going to say. And you know what the fuck he was going to say. It says, moron. He wasn't going to say moron. Moron was not on the tip of his tongue. You know what I mean? So you can tell the cop's attitude towards the population he works with, and it pisses him off even that I'm supposed to be acting like him, and I'm not acting like him. You know what I mean? And I'm not dressing like him. So whatever. We did get, and that's the whole reason those guys were fucking with us too, man. White kids rapping and being into all of that shit, it was rough on both sides. You know what I mean? We weren't getting a lot of love from construction fucking all-American white dudes that like listen to Billy Joel and go to fucking Jets games and asshole shit like that. And I don't care if anybody here is listening to that shit and they like, hey, I do that shit. I don't care. I don't like that shit. Yeah, Billy Joel's cool, but he's like, it's whatever, man. It's whatever, bro. Ask Eden about Billy Joel. He'll give you a good opinion on that.
But so basically, so you got into a fight. So just to kind of like, you got into a fight on the Metro North, got charged, spent time in Queens House of Detention.
So I got off. I got off on self-defense. Okay. And, the judge realized
it was a fight. It wasn't an attack.
It was a consensual situation. Yeah. And so I got off on that. But then I get a letter that I'm getting sued, And then I get a letter from Inside Edition or a phone call from a producer from Inside Edition. So I called my lawyer. My lawyer was a nice guy, man. Nice guy. Quinn.
Shout out
Mr.
Quinn,
Quinn, whatever his name was. Yeah, I hope he's still alive, man. I probably put his fucking kids through college, bro. I swear to God. Without exaggeration, I may definitely, he was able to upgrade and get in a better car because of me as a kid. Because all of my college funds went to lawyers' funds. That's why I ended up going to state and city school, which is fine. It's my own fault. I don't blame anybody for my problems. My own fault. But yes. So then I get hit up by Inside Edition. I asked my lawyer, is this legit? He said, yeah, they actually been going through that. The producers go through the public record to the civil suits in the courthouses, and they pull civil suits that seem interesting, and then they go on Judge Judy and so that. And there were all these other TV shows. Inside Edition was just trying to hop on the bandwagon, and they were like, listen, if you lose, even if you lose, we'll pay the court fees, and if you win, you get money. So they fucking sent me a limo.
Sorry.
To take my ass all the way.
So
all right.
If you lose, they pay the court fees. If you win, they pay the money. But when they say
Yeah.
lose or win, do they mean the actual charge or do they mean the TV show?
Well, there was no the criminal case had
Right,
already
so
been
it's just
dealt
a
with.
civil case.
So now it's just a civil case. But the civil case, they do some paperwork where it forfeits it, and they become, I guess, what's legally considered an arbitrator.
Interesting. The show becomes an arbitrator.
You could do this, like, when you buy a car, you could choose to, like, if you have any disagreement with them and the leasing company or something, to go through arbitration instead of court, and then you sign away all your rights, like, to go through a court.
You allow them to decide.
So I'm guessing, I'm not a lawyer. You would have to call my man Doc Strange. Shout out to Doc Strange, my new lawyer, and producer and old-time collaborator. But yes. So anyway, we do our court case on a railroad, abandoned Long Island Railroad car in a rail yard in like Glenwood, Queens or something, or Maspeth or something. And this is before anybody even would ever go there. I had no idea where the fuck these places
you
were.
You go to shoot film out in Long Island on an abandoned railroad for Inside Edition.
In Queens. But it's like the part of Queens that has no subways. You know, it's like that part of Queens. That people are just starting to move to.
It's a legit court case
now,
but they're filming it. And this is incredible.
It's a retired judge,
dude.
And they're filming this on a Long Island Railroad train, and they sent me a limo to pick me up from Long Island to take me to Queens, and a limo back. Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
Straight up, and it was weird.
All right, so you go there. I remember seeing it once. You said you're going to send me the link, but you do the thing. The judge doesn't agree with you. I do. All my viewers would agree with you if they ever get a chance to see it. You stand by it. Like, fuck those dudes. They had it coming. They asked you to beat their ass with a mini bat. They asked for it, and you did it. It's as simple as that.
Listen. The youth that are on like the cutting edge of any subculture, the fucking normal square grown-ups, tough guys, closed-minded, always think they can kick you around. You know what I mean? And even though in the eyes of the law and your average civilian, like, we came across like punk kids, and I was a punk kid. You know what I mean? Absolutely, troublemaker and all of that shit. But yes, fuck them anyway. And they got what's coming to them.
Yeah, you were not a punk kid who would completely unprovoked beat up people on a train for no, like, with hold on. I understand.
Joe, let me stop you. Let me stop you right there. I might have been. That may not be totally true, man.
Okay.
I might have been. But that's not what happened. But that's not what happened.
My point is that's not what happened.
It's not could it have happened? Could I have done it?
My favorite part
of
the Inside Edition was the very end when the judge asked you straight up, and I know every other episode Inside Edition ended a different way, but the judge asked you, do you regret this? Do you want to apologize? And you were like, no. It was fucking golden.
I think I said, he said, Mr. Schroeder, do you have any regrets? Blah, blah. And I said, the only regret I have is that they got the bat, that I didn't get to hit a few more of his friends before they got the bat away from me.
Incredible.
You know?
Inside Edition. First.
Yeah, I wanted to do so much more damage. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. All right. Well, it's a different time now.
Yo, and listen, man, all that shit I was doing back then, first of all, I don't care. I was a different person. And second, more importantly, to, like, who cares about me? My shit is like purely fucking anecdotal. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm just one kid. I was a kid though, and you got to understand, like many other kids right now, still to this day and forever, I was doing exactly what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I grew up around a lot of fucked up people, really, and a lot of terrifying people. And I was behaving in a way I was people pleasing, but the people I was pleasing were psychotic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was doing what I thought got the girls. I was doing what I thought got respect. So I wasn't just doing these things. at the end of the day, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do because the values of where I was from and the currency, what held currency where I was from, was completely bizarro. When I had to come to the quote-unquote regular world, and then, like, you know, people solve situations by talking or by being right. And you know, they could come off to you completely arrogant and belittling, and, like, they've never been punched in the face for it before. This is not something that it took me forever. It took me years to understand the way that the whole world doesn't work the way I thought it worked. Like, the whole world wasn't Italian, and the whole world didn't handle shit by violence. Some girls didn't care how much you could bench press. That was a hard fucking pill to swallow, man. I remember I met all these these nuclear family kids, and they were like all fucking pasty, scraggly fucking white kids, and then girls would still like them. And I was so confused. I was fucking beside myself. I'm like, wait a minute. She's choosing to be with him.
I didn't have to lick all that shit.
What? Whoa. Yeah. Like, I didn't have to fucking. Yeah, man. Yo, but this is part of how lucky am I to have those fucking awakenings and not still be in that spot, but still have some of those tools that I learned from that life. If it comes up,
right?
You know what I mean?
Look at to make.
Listen, I got a wife.
That was the next thing I was going to say.
Way. I'm gonna protect my fucking wife and all of my friends who I'm with. You know what I mean? In any way possible, in any way that I have to. And it's cool if I could be, hey, man, please leave us alone. And half the time, I don't need to say shit because, you know, you carry that around with you, man. Most of the time, people could tell, like, all right, I'm going to keep it moving.
I don't.
You know, like, not that anybody should be terrified from me, but I'm not a mark. No. I'm not going to be it's not going to be an easy fucking thing. And that's all it needs to be. That's what I learned when I was a kid. It's kind of like I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
Yeah.
It's kind of that thing. Like I don't have to be the toughest in the world. I just have to be tougher than a few people, and the other guy's going to go to the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody who's out there looking for somebody to rob or something. First of all, I don't got that much on me. I got a little chain or whatever. But anyway, they're going to go to path of least resistance. And if they think even for a second, like, yeah, this dude's going to throw down, they're just going to keep it moving, man. And, I think I don't have to deal with a lot of bullshit.
You have a certain aura. You have a certain aura, man. It's unmistakable.
Yo, it was hell growing up, man. I was a creative, a sweet little kid, a sensitive, creative person. You know what I mean? And I had to kind of hide all of that, and then be something I wasn't until some of it started.
Well, it all led to here, man. Like you said, you're married. Congrats on that. Did you say? Are you pregnant? Is your wife pregnant?
I'm not
that's
pregnant.
What I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
man,
my wife
that's
is.
I didn't.
No,
that
I know,
was the second
I
thing
know.
I was gonna bring up. That's new news, right? I didn't even know that. Congrats, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, life takes you off. You know, I don't. I'm just kind of going along for the ride. You know what I mean? I did not plan any of these things. I didn't know if I would get married or not. I have a kid, and this shit's just happening, and it's just kind of coming to me.
It's fucking great, man.
You know?
It's well deserved.
You put so much effort towards shit, and you've been in like relationships, and they take so much effort, and you're trying to make them work, and then this just naturally happened at the right time, and then we both decided we should marry each other, and then all these things kind of just happened serendipitously.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I got that Mike Tyson syndrome, like where you start to spit more than 3 syllables. I'd spit more than any syllables. If it's rap, I could spit them. But in regular conversation, sometimes I gotta do a double take on them. But yeah, man. What I'm saying is, like, you never know what life got going for you. You know what life got coming to you, man. And the plans that you may have for yourself, that don't seem to work out. Like, just know that there's some other shit that's around the corner, you know?
It's true, man. Things are...
And no matter what, life, you got your set of honors and shit like that, man. You got your character. Nothing outside you could totally destroy your character. You know, only you have control of that, is what I'm learning, man. So external shit, and yo, I got a lot of shit going for me that's good. But I've been through a lot of shit that wasn't great either, but not as bad as some people. So right away, I know off the bat I had it good. And any problems with my own doing, you know? But at the same time, you know, you got to just, life's going to do what it's going to do to you. And sometimes there's nothing you could do about it except still try to carry yourself with some honor. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say peace.
This was a lot of fun. I'm gonna chop this up, edit it together.
Yo, peace to you, bro.
Man. We're gonna talk again soon. We're just gonna hang out soon.
You're the man. Yo, you the man. You did so much for and continue to do so for Brooklyn independent rap,
fun,
bro.
Man. A lot of really
you made a scene. You gave it like a place to kind of revolve around. At least that's what it feels like for me, you know?
Man,
like how many people, how many sessions did we have? How many people came through in and out of there? How many people that I didn't even have nothing to do with, you know? But even just from what I saw, like when I'm leaving, another group of kids is coming in, and then we play the holiday banger for these kids. You know,
I remember that.
Man.
Bring that up. Man. It's been a long time. I'm still here. We're gonna, as soon as this shit clears up, we're gonna hang out.
Yeah, man. Yo, you should just Dexter out your apartment, son, and with all the plastic all over the shit, just like E.T. your apartment. All right, cool. So there's an hour and 40 minutes of fucking footage for you to do whatever you want to do.
I'll chop it down. I'll send you the raw audio so you can have it, and then I'll send it to you after I add the music and edit it.
I had a great time. And yo, if anybody's out there and they're out in New York and their folks are in New York, or they got like people that can't leave the house or something, I got a little Vespa. I could jet around Brooklyn. I'm going to keep this to... And, email me or hit me up on Instagram, and I could deliver some groceries or stuff, whatever people need to their house or whatever, as much as I can handle.
Man. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, we gotta do that shit, bro. You gotta do that. It keeps you human. Otherwise, I'll be sitting in my apartment thinking about all the fucking ideas I have in my head. I need to take myself out of myself once in a while, man. So yeah, I really mean that. Put a little my email or some shit. Let people know that they can hit me up.
I will.
If they have adults or something, elderly or people that just can't leave the house, I could bring them some groceries or whatever.
That's a great way to end, man.
Cool. All right.
Up and we'll
peace out, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Yeah, man. Later.
All living things. They surprise us.
Coming to your life if they were ever in quarantine. Stay occupied so it ain't that hard for me. I could do a house arrest stretch standing on my head. Wrote a little rhyme right here and this is what it said. Quarantine dreams, economy is all a scheme. Life is short, it's all about the little things. I'm confused to why these billionaires are trying to rob me. The glitterati got no mind, soul, just a body. Probably we could use this time to get in touch, some time to ponder, remember what's important to us. Quarantine, a good time to calm the mind. Every line, it ain't all about the bottom line. Ambulance sirens are breaking the silence, doing the back and forth death dance with eerie quietness. They hightailed it out of town on their privilege. I'm on some Mr. Wiz yelling, this is it, this is it, this is it.
No mega corporation deserves a cent of bailout money. For decades, these companies and their billionaire executives have been dodging taxes, getting tax cuts, shafting workers.
Now hear me out, I don't want to go back to normal, cause back to normal, it wasn't so great for us all. Back to normal, it wasn't so great for the soul. I guess somewhere I had a little bit of hope that maybe we would all reevaluate what we valued, how we lived and how we ate. When we were stuck inside, these cowards made a power play, a corporate bailout, just like 2008. While we waited for a $1,200 check, Like $1,200 enough to make us forget. There's thousands dying and they bailing out the robber barons. They robbing us, just like how they robbed our parents and grandparents, great-grandparents, so on. Regular folks, we just get treated like we're no ones. Being lied to all the time, it sure gets exhausting. They want you getting back to work and working on their fortunes.
They are so concerned about protecting their bottom line that they're willing to let people die to preserve their stock portfolios, all while they continue working from the safety and security of their own homes.